Hello, my name is Maria Bezuba and you are at my channel Fertilizers Jazz. Here we talk about events, trends, technologies in the world of fertilizers and agriculture. Please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video and let's jazz! Today I am very glad to host a super cool guest, Olgun Kaan, who is the co-owner and general manager of Iskenderun Gubre, one of the largest producers and exporters of phosphate and complex fertilizers in Turkey. I am delighted to welcome you, Olgun, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Hello, Maria.
First of all, Olgun, let me say again that I'm very happy to have you today, not only because it's you, we know very well each other for quite a long time, but also because Turkey is a kind of a second market for me after the Ukrainian. My company operates in the Turkish market as an importer and distributor, so I learn and love Turkey and also Turkish fertilizers market, of course, for almost 8 years now. So today, together with you, I will gladly make, let's say, a deep dive into the current situation in the Turkish market, discuss how you see the perspectives and, of course, the challenges of 2024. So my first question to you is, how do you see Turkish domestic fertilizers market this year in terms of consumption, first of all? And what do you think are maybe potential upsides that we will see in the second half of the year and also potential hurdles for the consumption?
The first half of the year in Turkey was very bad, I would say. We have two seasons in Turkey. First, April, it starts from February and till April, the spring season. And we have also a fall season. In the spring season, the farmers usually consume nitrogen-based fertilizers like urea, ammonium sulfate, UAN. And in the second half, starting from September to December, farmers consume phosphate-based fertilizers, mainly 2020, 1515, DAP, and all other kinds of NPK fertilizers. The first half of the season was very difficult for the producers, mainly because of the price trends of the nitrogen fertilizers going down. It was a downward market, and because of that, the prices kept falling down, and almost all importers and producers had difficult times making profit. But in the second half, we are hopeful that it will be much better season compared to the first season, the spring season. So we are hopeful and preparing to do our best in the fall season on phosphate-based fertilizers. Last year, the consumption was very low regarding phosphate fertilizer in the fall season in Turkey. So we hope that this less consumption will be compensated in this season in 2024. So we will see. We are hopeful and optimistic, sorry.
Optimistic. Yes. We have also almost the same situation in Ukraine, as you say, regarding the compensation of consumption. So we are also hoping that it will pick up, and also Iskenderun Gubre products will arrive to help the season in Ukraine.
Yeah, we are receiving inquiries. Now we are under offer for 10-26-26. Iskenderun Gubre produces NPK fertilizers. At the same time, we import NPK fertilizers from nearby markets and distribute in Turkey and in nearby markets like Northern Iraq, Syria, Ukraine, even Bulgaria.
I see.
So we hope that it is very strange. Until a few years ago, Ukraine was one of the main suppliers to Turkey. Now everything
of nitrogen
upside down.
Yes.
Yes, unfortunately times change as we see. And also unfortunately for Turkey, since already I would say 2 years at least, it is going through an extreme macroeconomic turbulence. It's real hurricane, I would say. So inflation rate continues to increase. It didn't stop, unfortunately, yet. So the last
what I saw,
are
at least,
one of the worst in the world, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, the last figure that I saw was 75%. It was a May figure, and yeah, GDP growth continues to let's say to stop. So it's still higher than comparably higher than in the developed countries. But of course, it's not the target that Turkey would like to have. And Turkish lira value continues to drop. So again, as I see now, it has been stabilized on a certain
months. Yes, it has been stabilized, but there is always a fear behind our heads that it can suddenly shoot up, which is the expectancy, because Turkey is now giving one of the highest real returns to the deposit accounts. Based on this stabilized US dollar terms, foreigners, they say carry trade. The foreigners make enormous profits based on stabilized US dollars and high interest rates, which is more than 50% now.
Yes, but unfortunately not Turkish producers or agrarians. So obviously such turbulence definitely influences also our industry. And can you please share what it is for you as a producer? What did this turbulence bring, and how do you think it influenced your customers?
I mean, because we rarely sell on cash basis to our customers in Turkey. Farmers always buy minimum 90 days up to 180 days credit. In some products, special product, it goes to 1 year. And now we apply about 5% per month interest rate for the credits, which is a huge amount. So basically, if they want a 6-month credit, the price in Turkish lira terms goes up by 30%, 5 times 6, 30. So this really makes a new challenge for the farmers to finance their fertilizer inputs. But this is the case. The cost of financing increased a lot. Until last year, we were taking 1.5% per month. Now we take 5% per month. Yet it is not enough. So the main challenge, more than the prices, became on the finance side. Domestic market. But this is the case. You cannot avoid. Now we have, the ministry made serious mistakes. The economy ministry made serious mistakes. The whole world during the pandemic was increasing the interest rates, whereas Turkey decreased the interest rates, and this resulted on inflation. So we have more than we have more than 100% for sure inflation in the last 2 years. We can easily see that on the especially on the foodstuff.
I see.
In one sense, this is better for the farmers because their foodstuff prices like tomato, bread, whatever you call, the prices went up 3 times, 4 times even in the last 2 years. Whereas the fertilizer prices, even ammonium sulfate, for example, in the last 2 years, we are selling at the same price, 7,000 Turkish lira per ton. So compared to the final product of farmers divided to the cost of fertilizer, the ratio went in favor of foodstuff, which means that their cost per their fertilizer cost compared to their product is much less compared to 2 years ago. This should affect the usage of fertilizer, but it did not. Because strangely, a lot of farmers have been complaining about not making profit out of their production. The prices went up too much, but a lot of farmers complained about non-profitability of farming and quit farming at all.
Even quit.
Yeah. A lot of farmers decided not to produce at all. Meantime, we have very dry season this year. It was a dry year. So the environmental factors also against farmers in 2024 in Turkey. I hope this will change in the second half of the year, and we will face a much better season, a fall season, phosphate.
Hopefully. And in terms of exports, so theoretically, a low and weak lira has to support exporters. And your company, for example, is one of the large exporters. So how do you feel it? Does it really support you, or there are other factors that diminish this one?
Lira, they say lira is not weak at the moment. I mean, we have a pretty much stabilized US dollar Turkish lira exchange rate in the last 3 months. It's between 30 lira, now it's 32 lira. But the depreciation of Turkish lira is much less than the inflation. So we have a powerful Turkish lira at the moment, in fact. Therefore, not only for fertilizer or chemical sector, on the other exporters like textile, machinery, everybody is complaining about the Turkish lira, US dollar or euro exchange rate, which is not reflecting the real exchange rate, you know. Now it is 32, more or less, per US dollar exchange rate. And they say normally it should be 45 to 50 Turkish lira per dollar, purchasing parity base.
I see.
So this affects, I mean, of course, a strong Turkish lira doesn't help us on the export side, but it helps us on the import side. So basically, yes, we lose the export market, but we gain the domestic market. We think both ways, since we are active on both export and import, so it doesn't really hurt us a lot. We don't export that much, and our main export markets is mainly West Africa, like Ghana, Ivory Coast, Congo, Zambia. And this part, the West African coast, has serious financial problems this year and last year. So the demand also diminished a lot. But we still export now, especially to Congo. It is not a good year, but it could be much worse year. So we are still happy about activities. We'll see. I mean,
so how do you think this situation is it similar for all producers of Turkey in terms of competitiveness in the international markets?
Yes, it is similar with all producers in Turkey. It is more or less the largest exporter is Toros in Turkey, and I think they are facing the same problems that we face in domestic market and international markets as well.
I see. So let me ask a couple of questions regarding the fertilizers production as is in Turkey. So how do you see in general the production prospects? So a part of these large producers, large nitrogen producers, there are other segments that develop very rapidly in Turkey during past, let's say, 3-5 years or even more. So which segments do you think will continue growing? Like, for example, water-soluble producers, we saw a lot of them, organominerals, maybe some others.
Now there is a big investment by Gemlik Gubre. They will be producing urea pretty soon. It is one of the main investments in Turkey. We recently, Turkey start producing DAP and 2020 using their own phosphate rock by Eti Gubre in Mazıdağ. So this was a good news for Turkey, which will help to diminish the DAP import in domestic market. But besides that, there is no main investment in Turkish sector. Organomineral fertilizer had become very popular fertilizer in the last 5 years. But now most of the organomineral producers close their factories one by one. Because from the very beginning, I didn't believe in that organomineral fertilizer at all. So they will be going out of business one by one for the organomineral fertilizers. But compound fertilizer and nitrogen fertilizers will continue growing up. This is what I see.
And what about water-solubles?
And also water-soluble fertilizer. The number of greenhouses in Turkey continue to increase, and the future is in mineral water-soluble fertilizers in Turkey.
Indeed, and also outside of Turkey, I would say it is also the huge trend. So I believe it's a good time for Turkish producers in this segment.
The water source is getting more difficult. We have much less rain compared to previous years, and it seems that we will have to use our water in a much productive way by irrigation. So water-soluble fertilizers will be increasing in Turkey. Therefore, we also started in water-soluble fertilizer, namely potassium nitrate production in Turkey. Now, by the end of the year, we are going to produce water-soluble MAP as well. So by the end of the year, we will be producing our own water-soluble NPKs.
Great news.
Yeah, this is good news.
Yeah.
And compared to the standard fertilizer, it is much more profitable, to be honest with you. So we see ourselves in the next 5 years later, like now it is 70% standard fertilizer, 30% water-soluble fertilizer. 5 years later, it's going to be the vice versa. 30% standard fertilizers and 70% water-soluble fertilizers will be.
I see. Another problem that I see for the Turkish market in general, I would say, during past couple of years, is the fact that Turkey has become actually a hub for imported fertilizers. And often these imports arrive at prices lower than the market and dumping, I would say, prices, because they arrive from, let's call them, problematic countries. Often payment systems of these countries are sanctioned. So unfortunately, some of these products arrived to Turkey. Now, as far as I understand, it starts to change in 2024. However, still changes slowly. So this situation means, of course, that domestic market becomes more and more competitive and very, very price sensitive. So how do you think, what is the impact of this situation at the market? And does it impact somehow your business specifically, business of your company?
It makes our business in much difficult compared to the other countries, because Turkey has been traditionally a dumping market of nearby markets. Before it was Russia and Ukraine, and now it's mainly from Iran. A lot of urea is coming through Oman origin, Iranian cargo. So Turkey is a very cost sensitive and a very difficult market to make profit out of it. So, and this will continue, I guess. Geographic wise, we are at a very nice location, serving all European markets, African markets. Now the closure of the Suez Channel now made an impact on this advantage on negative side, but still this will end one day. And now Turkey has a large, first of all, it has its own usage. It's a large market. Second of all, it's a very nice location. It has storage capabilities mainly in Iskenderun, Mersin, Antalya region. So it can be a good hub going for the eastern cargoes going to west. Turkey will be increasingly playing this hub role in the coming years, I guess. We will make more investment on the warehousing and packaging also. So I think it's a good country for serving to the, we call it is a bridge between West and East. It's a nice bridge.
Indeed. So I'm sure that your company products are very well known, but still I would like to ask you to tell a bit more about Iskenderun Gubre. You already touched the base that you're working on some new products. So just tell our viewers a bit more about that so that more people know Iskenderun.
We are a very old company. Started the company in 1975. And since 2008, we are in the production, until which time we made only distribution. In 2018, we start production with compaction. In 2018, we started steam granulation, and since then, we do steam granulation, and we are producing NPK fertilizers, serving to Turkish customers and the nearby markets, including Africa, Middle East, Ukraine, Romania. In 2020, we also started production potassium nitrate and ammonium chloride. And this year we are, as I told you, we are going into the MAP production, water-soluble MAP production, which will let us produce water-soluble NPK fertilizers. And this is where we want to concentrate in the next 10 years. Water-soluble NPK fertilizers. I hope Turkey is a very active, very dynamic country, you know. And fortunately, we somehow keep our country out of these wars and turmoils and bombs. We kept the country out of these problems until now, which was a success. I hope this will continue. And we have a very good population. It is 80 million plus, big land, big farming area. There are, on the other side, there are restrictions that the big scale farming is not very popular in Turkey. So mainly the farming is done by the families in comparably small lands, which is not profitable at all. I think Turkey will go into the more cooperative farming, like sugar beets cooperative. They are very good and effective on sugar beets production. We'll see. I mean, I'm hopeful about our country. We are facing certain economical challenges, like many other countries. Ours is a little bit more difficult. But I'm hopeful about our country, to be honest with you. We have a very nice, good, young generation. And we'll see.
Yes, definitely.
I'm just trying to be positive.
Definitely, definitely. I also hope that we see, light at the end of this tunnel in terms of macroeconomic turmoil already this year for Turkey. And since then, the things will go north and will grow further as it was always for Turkey.
I hope so.
So thank you very much, Olgun, for this insightful discussion.
Thank you very much. It was nice to chat with you.
Thank you, thank you. And I wish you all the best, and all the best to Iskenderun.
You and for Ukraine.
Thank you.
All countries around us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. I will leave all credentials of Iskenderun Gubre in the description of this video. Also, I will make a separate issue about the Turkish fertilizers market that will tell in details what I know about it and what we just discussed with Mr. Kaan. So please push the bell in order not to miss any updates. And also, please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video, and see you soon.